how you would accuse me of doing something before I have even did it. I haven't like said nothing to her. I haven't squeezed her booty. I haven't did nothing but just looked at her. But he said to me, "You can look at it, but you bet not touch." And kind of really looked at me real aggressively and standoffishly. So, I know a lot of people just listening, they don't know me, but I'm like I'm like uh Freddie on steroids with a little bit of Jason in me. And my whole body just turned on fire. I turned on rage. And even though I'm a grown man and I know that everything is not supposed to be handled with violence, it was a real big test. So at this point, I can remember like it was yesterday, time stopped. So, boom, I'm stuck there and I have a decision to make. Nobody in the club is moving anymore. I can't even hear the music. I'm just stuck in limbo. And I know that I have like three options. All right. So the first option that I have is to knock this dude's head off and turn his whole body into smush, into slushy, right? And just beat him unmercifully. Okay, that's the first option. And at that time I hadn't had a fight in a long time. I could get out a little angry. I could sharpen up my skills and still see if I got it. And you know, plus he was disrespectful. He's totally in the wrong. He's accusing me of something uh, before I have even did it. And you just don't talk to another grown man like that. So option number one, if I would have acted out on that option, to this day I felt like that I wouldn't have been in the wrong. All right. So we're gonna leave option number one right there. Option number two, I was just looking at this beautiful young lady. And like I said, she was fine as wine. And since he has accused me of doing something that I haven't done, well, heck, I might as well just go ahead and squeeze her booty with not just one hand, but two hands, and really get in there real good, right up under the cup of each cheek, and just squeeze for about 5 or 6 seconds, right? And then look at him in his face and say, "Now what you want to do?" And then proceed back to option number one. All right, so that's option number two. And I feel like option number two is actually better than option number one. I still get to uh, I still get a little hand to hand combat in, and also I get a nice squeeze in, a nice a nice feel and thrill in. All right. So then there's option number three. I'm looking at this guy. I'm sizing him up. All men, we size each other up. And he's a little bit shorter than me. And man, he's got muscles like coming out of his toes, coming out of his face. I can tell he works out, really, really good. And so a lot of times, like I done had so many fights, I'm knowing that I can look at a person's body type and I can look how a person's walk, and I can pretty much gauge what type of fighting style he's gonna come at me with. And I'm looking at this guy. He's got so many muscles. He's not gonna be able to move. He's gonna be too slow. Uh, and he's not gonna be ready for this smoke. And but the third option would be, I guess, to give him a pass. To give him a pass. And then as a side note, everybody, when this dude was talking slick to me, when this dude was talking smack, I told you that I was in there with my boys. So if I was one of those people that couldn't fight, or I would just happen to, lose that day, I got the airstrike coming in right behind me, the second line, ready to do what it do, and they was gonna do some major damage. These is three other heavyweights, and I would have been upset if they would have jumped in. I like to finish my plate by myself, but sometimes if other people's hungry, there's nothing that you can do about it. So we still at option number three. I could let them slide and and just let it go. So let me go ahead and uh, give y'all what I did and what happened. I'm not gonna hold y'all in suspense. So on this particular night, I went with option number three. I let it slide. Now, when I let it slide, I was tore up. My stomach was mad. Like, man, why did you let that guy punk you out? Why was you weak for? Man, you could have smashed that dude. Plus, y'all would have had fun. Plus, if security would have tried to jump in, your boys was with you, would have beat up the whole security of the club and would have walked out like gladiators. Right? So then the whole night, man, I was trying to enjoy myself, trying to drink it away, knowing that even though he might not have known who I was or what I'm capable of doing, I know it myself, and I was the bigger man at that particular moment. But it really took a toll on me to where my stomach was hurting, I had a headache, and I just couldn't enjoy myself. And matter of fact, if I was by myself, I would have went home after that incident, so I wouldn't. And just in case I was to see that guy in the club later on, the fire wouldn't have been rekindled, and I wouldn't have went on ahead and smashed him for regretting not smashing him the first time we had the altercation. So, needless to say, as the night went on, it was it's time to go home. We shutting down. You don't gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell out of here. Time. And the club was shutting down. They was turning out lights and playing the last couple songs, and it was time to head on out. I seen a couple ladies, and that's, like I said, a real fine lady. And another side note, that guy that said something to me about looking at the girl with the nice booty, he was her brother. Looked like the dude maybe just got out of the penitentiary or just took a gallon of steroids before he came to the club. Anyway, I was walking out the club, and I seen the guy. He was sitting on the chairs, and he said, "Hey, man, I gotta give it to you, man. I was dead wrong. Uh, it was disrespectful what I said, and I just want to apologize and look you in your eye and just give you a firm handshake from the bottom of my heart, man. You outmanned me tonight, man, and I just want to give you an apology." And man, that apology was like $1 million. Like at that particular moment, on that particular night, if a person would have said, "Here, man, you want this $1 million, or you want dude to apologize to you?" 10 times out of 10, I would have took that apology, because you know that was serious, man, and that was something that went into my heart, right, man. Why'd I let that dude slide like that? So you know, at the time, I stood down, and that's something that I'm not good at, but I just happened to do it, and I let the guy punk me out, but he ended up seeing his wrong, and he ended up apologizing. He pulled me to the side, man, and it really felt good. And so, what's the moral to the story? What does all this mean? So, I didn't get in a fight. even though I would have liked to get in a fight, you can say that's either a good thing or a bad thing. But it's a chance that if we was to get in a fight, somebody could have got hurt real bad. He could have got hurt real bad, or possibly, real slim chance I could have got hurt real bad. But neither one of those happened. It's a chance that maybe one or both of us could have got locked up, and that didn't happen. It was a chance that maybe I would have scuffed up my Air Force Ones or my J's. I forgot what type of shoes I had on that night, but that didn't happen. What did happen is two men was able to come together without anybody else and solve our particular issue like men. And like I said, he proudly and firmly admitted that I outmanned him that night. But I'm going to say to this day, I really appreciated that. And that it was hard. And to be honest, when you're a certain type of person, it's hard to be weak. And it's hard to be punked out. And it's not something, I don't know, that I ever be good at, but I know that in a time or any type of incident or altercation where I can be weak, it always pays off in the end. So for all young men or even older men or young women, older ladies, it's okay to be weak. It's okay to be weak sometimes. It's okay. And I firmly can say that I'm a weak black man, and that sometimes being a weak black man pays off. Thanks for listening, you guys. I just wanted to make a quick little rant. And peace.